Hi everyone, welcome back to Cat's Book Corner. We talk about all things book and bookish. Today is a little different because I also haven't been reading, which isn't a good thing, and I really do want to. It's just I've been busy, like busier than I planned to be. So I should have time to read within the next couple weeks, but I'm just putting it out there. You might be getting used to these types of formats for a little bit until I can get back into reading regularly again. But my birthday is next week and I am excited. So I thought I'd do a little birthday tag where I answer birthday themed questions uh, with the books I like. And I don't know, I thought it'd be fun. There's only 7 questions, so this one will probably be like pretty short, but you can't really do anything about that. But let's get into it. Okay, the first question is, it's like they all have like sort of like a theme. Like this one's called like the birthday cake theme. And I found this tag online. I don't know who started it, so I really don't know, but like I didn't make these up, just saying that. But this one is called The Birthday Cake. A book with a plot that seems cliche, but you adore it anyway. Quests. Magical, otherwise mundane, I don't care. Quest that like plot, it's pretty cliche. It's in so many books, and sometimes they can get repetitive. Like there are some where I'm like, did we need this? I don't know, did we? And but I love them. I love them so much because I find them so interesting, and I love the little like aspects you can get with them. But I have a couple examples of this one, and one is Harry Potter, obviously. Like the entire series is them going on quests and stuff, and they're magical, and like I like them. I really do. Like Harry Potter is one of the books where I'm like, yeah, these quests are necessary. You need them and stuff. And there's also Throne of Glass. Even though I've only read Assassin's Blade, that one still has like quests and magical stuff involved. So it's like, yeah, okay. And going through it, like I'm sure the rest of the series will have that as well. Like I love them so much. I find them like so interesting. I mean, of course, there's a couple where I'm like, okay, but yeah. And then like the last one was like the Darker Shade of Magic. Like literally, the entire plot of that book is a quest to get the stone back to Black London, instead of like, and you have to go through all the other Londons to do it. It's like, it's exactly what it is, and it's really funny. But I love magical quests. Like most books I read have quests in them, like more mundane, like Good Girl's Guide to Murder. It's still a quest because she's trying to find out what actually happened. It's still a quest. It's just it's not magical in nature like the other stuff that I like. But I don't really think it matters because I kind of like both either way, and I would read both either way, so it doesn't really matter. But it does get cliche at times. Like Dorothy Must Die. I hated it. It's a magical quest, but I hated it. I hated it so much. There's also Gilded, also a magical quest. I didn't like that one either. I really didn't. I found it boring. Like it can be cliched. Like those ones were very cliche. Like there wasn't really anything that was like pushing me to finding out the answer. Nothing that I really cared about. But most other books, like that's what it is. Like there's a quest and you gotta solve it. And most of the time I do love them. Like they are amazing and I love them so much. And most books I'm reading do still have that, so it's not like it's gonna change. Right, getting into question number 2. This one is like themed party guests. What's your most anticipated book release this year? Now, I changed this question because I don't pay attention to book releases. I really don't. I can honestly care less when they come out, and then I can figure it out by myself. Because I don't really see the point in waiting for a book to be released. I really don't, because it's going to be released sometime. You just gotta, like, get used to it. Like, I don't see the point in, like, making an active, like, notice to when is it coming out. Because, one, I'm not going to be able to buy it when it comes out, so it doesn't really matter to me. And 2, most of the time I'm not caught up enough for it to matter. So I honestly don't care about when books come out. The only time that question is not out there is the Empyrean series. It's literally the only thing that I could care about more than, me not caring, I guess. But this is, so it's like books that I really, really want to read. Like, these are like top of my priority. Red Rising, which I haven't finished yet. I really haven't. I'm like stuck in like the first like 3 chapters. And it's alright, it's fine. It's just, I kind of want to read more. It's just, I haven't got to it. And I'm honestly not sure. So it's like, I really would really, really like to finish it. I really, really would. I don't have time. But I really want to finish it. Like, really bad. Because I've heard this series is phenomenal. And I kind of want to join the party. But, yeah, so I want to read Red Rising. It's at the top of my priority because I'm currently reading it. So, obviously, it's the top of my priority. And then the second book that I don't have with me currently, it's back at home, is Bare Bones in Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. My favorite author. I love pretty much any book written by her. I've only read 2, so it doesn't really hold up. But I do love it. I do love it a lot. But it's about vampires and, like, living in 3 different times, and I am really, really excited for that. Well, one, because I like vampires, and I love, like, different time periods, like, really, like, they slowly but surely move into the present, so you can find out, like, what happened in the past and then move towards the future. I don't know, I sort of like those sort of timeline books. I don't have many of those, but I do like that theme. And, like, I'm wondering how they interconnect with each other, even if they do. Because it's about 3 women vampires, or at least I assume they are. I'm assuming they get turned into vampires, and that's the plot of the book. To be fair, I don't know much about it, because the flap on the cover doesn't really give much, which I'm glad for, because I don't like to be spoiled. But, I don't know. I mean, I'm curious, obviously, but I'm assuming they get turned into vampires. And is it one person who turns the one from the oldest, and then that person turns the next one, and then it continues up? Or do they each have, like, their own individual segmented story that's somehow tied together? Like, do we not know what happens officially to the first vampire until we get to the end of the 3rd one? Like, that's what I don't know. But I really, really want to know. So, I hope to read it during Thanksgiving when I'm back home with my books and stuff. But I don't know, if I haven't been able to read any of these books now, I'm like, I don't know. But I guess we will see. Okay, the next question is called A Birthday Present. A book that surprised you with how much you loved it. Now, I've talked about this book quite a bit considering how recently I read it. I read it in August, so it's not too recent, but it's basically one of the last books I read. So I have talked about it quite a bit. I pretty much mentioned it, I think, in every single video since then. And I did not plan to like this book. I did not plan for me to think about this book a lot. I did not plan for basically anything to do with this book. I really, really didn't. In fact, I thought I would hate it. But the book is Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. It's about Johnny and Shannon and the traumas that they both have, and me wanting to read the second one, but I can't because I don't have a bookstore near me to buy it. And I'm busy, so there wouldn't really be a point. But still, I really, really loved it. And I didn't expect to like it. I really, really didn't. Like, I honestly did not expect to like it as much as I did. Because I don't read contemporary as often as other people do. I love fantasy. That's my main thing. I don't read contemporary often. Now, that has changed over the summer. I've read more contemporary this summer than I have any other year. So, and I am enjoying what I have been reading. So maybe it's just I never gave contemporary a full chance. But I really, to be fair, it's considered a sports romance. I don't think I would consider it a sports romance. Yes, there is a big sports element to it, like rugby is a very important plot point of this book, but it's not really the point. The relationships between Shannon and Lizzie and Claire and Johnny, Gypsy, and Huey, and Shannon and Johnny, those are the main points. Like, the relationships are the main points of this book. Like, everything else doesn't really matter. Like, the relationships are the main point of this book. And the cliffhanger with Shannon, and it makes me so sad. I want to know what happens, and like, that book made me cry. And to be fair, a lot of books recently have been making me cry, so it's like, it's not really a feat, but I don't know. I never expected to like that book as much as I did. Like, it's 5 stars. I never expected it to be 5 stars. I expected it to be like maybe 3.5 to like 4.5, like around there. Like, I expected it to be good because people like it, but I didn't expect that I would love it as much as I did, to like fully invest in that story, to want more of it, and to even want it to be retold from Joey's perspective, because I think that's what Joey's books are. I think we'll get like extra stuff, obviously, like with him and Aoife, but I do think it'll be basically a retelling of the plot of Shannon's Point, but with Joey. And I think that's fine, because I want to know what Joey was thinking, because I loved Joey in that book, and I can't wait to figure out like what happens with the other people, with like Claire and Gypsy and Huey and Lizzie, and more about Shannon and Johnny, and like all of the other characters that I care about, because I read one book and I care about basically all of these characters. I cannot wait to like find out more about them, because it was so good, and I loved it so much. Okay, next question is A Happy Birthday Song, a book that certainly deserved all the hype it got. Now, you might say I should be mentioning Fourth Wing here. I could, but that answers another question later, so I'm not going to. So, but obviously Fourth Wing, obviously. It's just so good, and I understand why it has the hype, and honestly, it gets all the hype from me because I love it so much. It's my favorite, and I love it so much. But those aren't the books I want to talk about right now. The first one, 5-2 for this one, is the Mind F series. Now, this is a very, very, very popular series. Like, the 5-book in one, it's very, very popular. Pretty much everyone who's read it has loved it, and I agree. Like, as I said before, this caused 2 things to happen. Me having to put a book down because I was sobbing too much, and me not being able to stop reading it. So it did 2 things that basically shouldn't happen together, but it did. So, and I loved it. I loved that book a lot. Like, a lot. Like, I loved Lana, and I loved Logan. And, like, the 3rd act was just amazing. Like, it made so much sense. No choice that a character made in that book was I like, I don't know. Because sometimes when there's, like, a 3rd act like that, especially with, like, the relationship, I have questions being like, did this need to happen? But with that one, I'm like, absolutely. Every, like, decision that a character made, I was like, yes, this is what a decision that character would make, considering how much information I have about them. And I loved it. I loved it so much. And I support Lana in all of her things, because she deserved it. She deserved exactly what she did. And she deserved to have that revenge. And Logan being so sweet and like, he was so cute, and I loved him so much. He was just adorable, which you wouldn't expect of an FBI agent who is dating a serial killer. Like, and he's actively working to find said serial killer, and it's I kind of wish I read it for the first time again, because it was just it was so good. And I really loved it. But the other one that I have is ACOTAR. Now, I read ACOTAR for the first time New Year's, actually. Yeah, New Year's. That's when I read it the first time. And I loved it. Like, it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I love Beauty and the Beast retellings. It's some of my, like, favorite stuff. And honestly, I wasn't really sure about the type of hype that this type of book would get, because it is everywhere. Everyone and, like, their mother knows about ACOTAR. Pretty much everyone has read it. I'm, like, the last person to read this book. And I loved it. I mean, I honestly did. And there are things that I have been spoiled on. Like, I know about Cassian and Nesta, and about the whole problem with Elaine, and I know about Rhys and Feyre. Like, there's stuff that I know, because you can't hide from spoilers with this series. Like, there are so many things that I don't know, but there are so many things that I do, which, honestly, I don't particularly care, because nothing that I have been spoiled with really deters me from reading. Like, I will read it anyway, and I will probably still cry when certain things that I already know happen. So it's like, it's fine. It's just, I kind of wish I wasn't spoiled, but you can't really help it. So I don't really blame anything that I've been spoiled on, because it was bound to happen. Like, I don't think I could have prevented being spoiled. It would have happened. But this series is, like, so popular, and I think it deserves the hype it gets. Like, everything that I've seen about this book, I'm like, yes, absolutely, I cannot wait to read the next one, which I think A Court of Mist and Fury is everyone's favorite. Well, besides Silver Flames, if they like Nesta, because that's her book. But I've heard everyone likes A Court of Mist and Fury, which I'm excited, because if we get more Rhys, because I liked Rhys, I'd like more of him. So I think that one we get more of him, so I'm like, I'm excited. I really, really am. Like, that book was really, really good, and to be fair, I knew going in that Tamlin wasn't going to be the guy. Like, I knew that going in, which I think helped me manage my expectations enough for me to love it. Because I think if I didn't know about Rhys and Feyre and Tamlin, that I would be like, who's this guy? He's annoying and I don't like him. So, like, now that I have that, I'm like, you know what, I can appreciate it for what it is. I can appreciate this for how it's happening. So I'm like, that is why I love it. Because I have the perspective. Which means that I'm basically thanking the spoils that I've gotten so that I could love it. Which I guess I kind of am. Which, it's fine. I love it anyway. So it's not like it's going to change either way. But, yeah, so those two are the ones that I think definitely deserve all of the hype that are around them, because they're honestly two of my favorite books I've read this year. I mean, there are more, but just those two. Okay, next one. Happy Music, a book with some very beautiful and truly memorable quotes. This is where I'm mentioning Fourth Wing, although I'm not mentioning Fourth Wing specifically. I am mentioning Iron Flame, because Iron Flame has one of my favorite quotes that I have ever read. It's only the body that's fragile. You are unbreakable. And I am thinking about getting a tattoo of that quote on my arm, because, oh, I love that quote. It's just, it deserves, oh, I really, really love that quote. And there are so many other quotes in that book, like violence, and, oh, it's so good. Like, do you think you could ever not love someone? How it took you 2 seconds to fall in love with me. It's like, ugh. And it's, even Onyx Storm is like, what did you do? You asked me to. Like, there are so many quotes. I'm like, and then with Imogen and Quinn is like, but we'll make it a good one. It's just, ugh. Like, that book has taken over my life. Like, ugh. It's just, it's so good, and I love it so much. It is some of my favorite stuff. But like, that quote, it stuck with me when I read it, and it's just, and even Fourth Wing, it's been my honor. Like I am honestly fully thinking about getting that tattooed on my arm, because I think think it deserves it, like, 100% to have that. Like, I want it so bad. Like, I've only ever thought about 3 tattoos. Well, technically only 2. There have only been 2 tattoos that I've ever thought about, and I want them, and I'm getting them. But that is the one that I recently have thought about, and I really, really want. So eventually, hopefully, I'll get one. And also another one, but this one is, like, pretty obvious, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it, but it's Six of Crows. Like, Six of Crows, there are so many quotes that make me laugh. What's the best way to steal a man's wallet? Knife to the throat, gun to the back, poison in his cup. You're all horrible. No, you tell him you're stealing his watch. Like, it's so good. It's so good. He's like, my ghost won't consort with your ghost, and it's like, I will have you, Casbreaker, with or without your armor. And it's, your heart is an arrow, it demands to land true. It's just, there are so many quotes in that book, and I love them. And some are more heartbreaking than others. Specifically, the heart is an arrow, it demands to lay true, and I will have you, Casbreaker, with or without your armor. And it's just, but there's just so many funny ones too, and it's like, I love that book. I love it so much. And it has basically made me the person I am today, because I love it so much. I know I keep saying it, it's just, I don't really know how else to say anything about it. But it's so good. I mean, there's no quote in that book that I would think about getting tattooed on myself. Like, the things that I would get tattooed on myself, there are 3. Is that quote from Iron Flame, a quote from Super Marvel, like, specifically Endgame, and a nickname that my grandfather calls me. But just, I love the quotes of Six of Crows too, so I had to include it. Okay, this one is Getting Older. A book that you read a long time ago that you think you would appreciate more if you read it as a more mature reader. Now, I have 2. One is The Land of Stories. I loved The Land of Stories. It was one of my first, like, long series that I've ever read and finished. I read the first one when I was in 4th grade, I think. And I read the first 3. And then I had to take a break for a while because the next ones weren't out yet. And then, since it was, like, my school library, I couldn't wait for, like, them to get the next book in because it would take a couple years. So I bought the next 3 myself. And it was kind of funny because I loved the first 3. But the 4th and the 5th one, I'm like, I don't like these. I mean, I liked them short because I like Alex and I like, what's her face? Alex and Connor, that's his name. It's been a while. But I don't like the 4th and the 5th one as much as I like the other ones. Like, I think the second one is my favorite. The second or the third one, I think, are my favorites. No, the 6th one's my favorite. I like the 6th one. Because it has one of my favorite plot devices at the end. I feel like if I read that again, I would love it just as much. But I honestly think I might even love it more, considering how much I loved it as a kid. But I don't know, I really loved it. And I have another one here that I thought about. I read this when I was in 6th and 7th grade, maybe 8th grade. It was around that time. But it is the Aragon series, not Aragon, the Aragog series. Sorry. But, like, it's about Aragog and, like, him getting a dragon named Seraphina, and I don't actually remember a lot of this. In fact, I get a little bit of it confused with the Lord of the Rings. Don't come at me, because there's a lot similar from Lord of the Rings in this, and it's got elves and orcs, and there's, like, a magical quest, and there's, like, a magic sword, and I'm like, I love it so much, I want to read more. But I really loved it. I really did. I loved this series. And recently they came out with, like, one from Murgosh? books. I don't remember how to pronounce his name, but the guy who has the other dragon. And I don't know. I kind of want to read it, but I kind of want to read the rest of it first again. So I want to like read the rest of the series. And those books were thick. Like they were thick, thick books. And I don't know. I loved them. I really, really did. And I kind of want to read them again because I feel like I would like them more. Because it's been 10-ish, 8-ish years, depending on when I actually read them, because I don't specifically remember. But yeah, I want to read them again because I don't know. I've gotten way more into fantasy since then. Like I always liked fantasy, but I more liked fairy tale fantasy. Like because I read like the Grimm. What's the? I forget what they're called. But I read like more fairy tale inspirations and like then general fiction back then. I feel like now that I'm in like my full fantasy area, I'd be able to enjoy them more. So I don't know. There's a thought, and here's the last one: Sweet Memories, a book that kept you incredibly happy during a sad or demanding period of your life. Now, I have mentioned this book a lot. I have mentioned how this book has helped me specifically so much. And I read this book twice. Each time was during a different period where I needed this book. And I am incredibly glad that I found it. And I do not think I would have found it otherwise unless it was by the specific means of how I found it. Because it's very convoluted of how I found this book and how I even like came to read it at all. But it is The Midnight Library, which is about Nora who's trying to like, end it, and goes through different like aspects of different choices that she could have made. And then she's like, you know what? Let's see what happens. And it's just, I read this book when I was a sophomore in high school. Or at least, yes, I was a sophomore. And this was a summer reading book. I know, surprising. This was a summer reading book that I had to read for school. Well, technically, I didn't have to read this one. They gave us choices. And I picked this one because it was, I don't know, seemed easy. It was like pretty short. So I was like, you know what? I'll read this one. I'll read it fast. Get it over with. And I wasn't even at home when I read this one. Like I was at like a camp sort of thing that I signed up for, and I brought the book because I was bored. And I was reading it, and I was like, and this was like where I was at my lowest. Not because of this camp or anything, but I was at my lowest, like, me-wise, where, like, my, like, problems were, like, felt really, really bad to me, and, like, I was in a bad state. And I read this, and I was like, oh, it, like, helped me so much. Like, it literally is, I think, the thing that brought me out of the worst state I was in. And I am incredibly glad that it happened, because it has become my favorite book. As much as I say that Six of Crows is my favorite book, I don't think anything could ever replace this book because of how much it has helped me. Because it really, really did. It helped me so much. And then the second time I read it was 2 summers ago. I wasn't as bad as I was. I wasn't, but I wanted to reread it to see if maybe I placed too important of a weight on it. Like maybe it was only good because I read it at the time I read it. But I was not in the best place, to be fair. It's been a while since I've been able to stay in a good place, but I have been, so that's good. But I read it again and I was like, this book will always be my favorite, and I don't think anything could ever change that. And it's just, I don't know. But that book is the thing that helped me the most when I was in the worst parts of my life. And I will forever, ever be thankful that I picked that book off of a summer reading list. Because I don't know where I would be if I didn't read that book. So, yeah. That took a depressing turn. But, that's the rest of the tag. And if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all next week. The video will probably be a little late again, but anyway, bye.